Upside Down. Episode, don't know the number, but we're talking Anarcho Punk, folk punk. I am Maxwell Murder. I have Josh.
Hey,
Jay Gaze is with me.
I'm Jay Gazes, aka Josh.
And we've got an awesome co-host, Dane. I've known him since first grade. Say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Nice. All right. Yeah, Dane and I got into computers together, and we got into punk rock together. And the funniest thing about that is his little brothers are way more punk than we ever were.
Sure.
They're in a great band. What's the band? Decent Criminal?
They're Decent Criminal, yeah.
Yeah.
And all the guys, we grew up listening to all these bands, and now more than half those bands, they've met those dudes and hung out and had beers with those dudes or whatever, played shows with them, and it's just it's wild. I'm only a little jealous.
Oh, I'm very jealous. Hunter played drums for the Dwarves, like on tour.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he must have been like, those guys are like 70. He must have been like 20 when he was doing that.
And
so is Hunter your brother?
Yeah, that's the youngest.
That's the youngest one. The other one.
I heard that the Dwarves, the lead singer, they play nude or something.
Yeah, those guys are fucking weird.
I don't know if that's true, but
no, I don't know if they still do, but they used to. Their songs are pretty hilarious too. But yeah, Tristan and Hunter, Dane's like half brothers. They were like, I don't know. I still think of them as toddlers, but like Tristan is all tatted up and looks like a fucking crazy person. So yeah, all right. So we're gonna get started. Like I said, it's Anarcho Punk, and we're trying a new fucking format. Won't go too much into that. You just find out as we go. But Anarcho Punk and folk punk is something that I have been into since probably my 20s. And it seems as I get older, I like acoustic stuff more and more than I used to. Still got to be fast. It's still got to have energy, but I don't know. It's turning 41 sucks. But yeah,
and
okay.
I mean, just to kind of talk about the playlist. So, or just to give a little bit of background. So, a while back, probably 6 months ago,
it was a while.
Max sent me this playlist that he compiled, and I had no idea about this type of music at all, and so yeah, it's a small following, and but I knew that Max was into this type of music because he's talked about it. I've known Max for a while, and he's talked about it a lot. And so when I got my hands on the playlist, I really enjoyed it. I mean, there was probably 12 songs. I think we're going to only talk about 5 of them tonight, but
19 technically, but yeah.
19, yeah, there was a lot. But I really, the thing I liked about the music is that it brings sort of like the energy of punk music, but it's played on acoustic instruments. It's not distorted, heavy guitar, and it brings the same attitude of punk rock. And I don't know, man, there was just a lot of emotion behind a lot of the songs that I listened to, and I really I fell in love with it, dude. So thank you for sending that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. So it's funny, like we're talking like pretty far left wing sort of like radical politics, but I found that like the best songs are actually not really about that. They're kind of like, I mean, Josh was just saying like his favorite song in there is Coffee, God, and Cigarettes, and that's about getting sober. Which like, I will also say that pretty much everyone on this playlist, it's in chronological order. So like Johnny Hobo starts off with songs about dropping acid with God, and then when he gets to be Pat the Bunny, he's got songs about going to rehab.
Yeah.
There's a vein. Same with Eric Peterson, who we'll talk about soon. There's something here, but I find like, I don't know. I've got a banjo. I'm like slowly learning how to play it. but a lot of this shit, like these guys, like they busk and they're like train hoppers. They're fucking hobos. So you can't really like have a big electric guitar on a train. So you got a mandolin or a banjo or something, or acoustic guitar.
Yeah, a portable instrument.
Yeah, which is great. But yeah, so I'll just jump into it. So like, yeah, politics. It's just inherently there's some politics in here because of the anarchism, and I'm not going to read verbatim what I kind of wrote out, but I personally, like, my political beliefs are, I'd say, they've gotten more radical as I've gotten older, which everyone told me I would turn into a Republican when I turned 40, but that didn't happen. But like the idea of anarchism, and I want to make the point that it's sort of we're talking like capital A anarchy, not the sense that like when my kids are over here, the place is total anarchy. It's more of a community like thing. Like it kind of like I wanted to make the point you sort of like you don't necessarily have to overthrow a government to implement the ideas of like communal policing, communal like municipalities, fucking, just an example, like there's an anarchist collective in Arizona, and they were fucking filling potholes in their free time, just because there was a lot of potholes. They saw a problem, they fixed it. So I think just the idea that you can do things on your own without the state, which is also a sort of punk rock kind of like DIY sort of thing.
Right, like helping each other out.
Yeah.
Something needs done, the community handles it, and
Yeah.
they don't need any like government assistance or interference. Yeah, I get you. Yep.
And I've said this before, and I won't. I will say that there is a certain 12-step program that I think is the perfect example of a working anarchist collective that has been going on since the 40s, 30s or 40s. I won't go into that too much, but I really think that everything is independent. Every group is independent. Every group is self-funding. I don't know if that's what the founders intended, but that's what I see.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to live in a world where there's more people just randomly filling potholes.
Right? Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I don't. People. The government wants to call us Antifa or whatever, but shit. I don't see Nazis filling potholes.
I wish we had a more anarchist approach to my household. I don't like being the only fucking one that takes the dogs for a walk, or takes the trash out, or cleans up, or does the fucking dishes. I mean, it'd be nice if my teenagers would stepkids would chip in a bit, but that's okay. That's a story for another day.
I think you could buy them a couple of books. Emma Goldman is a good sort of anarchist writer. She's sort of the sort of baseline of anarchism. You could also buy them anything written by Karl Marx.
True. Do they have that in ebook or in audiobook? Because I don't think that I can get them to pick up a book.
You can definitely find the Communist Manifesto in audio.
Okay.
All right. So with that, like, okay, so I guess this is a format thing. I'm gonna put out the playlist, just like it's public on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, and then YouTube proper. So I'm gonna put that out so people can listen to it, and I'm almost positive that if anyone listens to it who knows anything about punk rock, they're gonna notice that one band is missing, and that's Crass. And I fucking hate Crass, so I didn't put them on there. But with that, so talking about anarchy and the kind of like sort of true anarchism, or just like the ideals behind it. The first song, this is the second song on the playlist, but it's the first song we're going to talk about. It's by a band called the Orphans, came out in 1997. The front man is a guy named Eric Peterson, and it's a song called "For an Old Kentucky Anarchist," and it's an acoustic song. And it's about him. He wrote it when he was 16, about a woman who lived in Kentucky. He's from Pennsylvania, so he's kind of on the border. He was fixing her garden for her, and basically, like, she just was this old woman living in Kentucky with a garden, and like had a bunch of kids, and I think she was about 80 years old, and the whole thing kind of changed his outlook on life. That's why it's about an old Kentucky, or an old Kentucky anarchist, and it's a I don't know, it's a good song. I love that song. I love the words to it, but I also love the fact that it's upbeat and acoustic, and at the end my favorite line is, "Slap your knee, have a taste of true anarchy." It's fabulous. What do you guys think?
So my thoughts on this song, and actually a lot of the songs in this playlist, there's a couple things that I noticed a pattern. So the guitar, it's played acoustically, but the way that it's played it's like this similar rhythmic pattern with the strumming. It's kind of like the way that they're the down and the upstrokes are going, it creates a rhythm in and of its own. So it's almost as if you don't need a drummer in a lot of the songs. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And so that in and of itself is, I think, unique for this style of music. And the other thing I noticed that I really fucking love is that these types of songs tell a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like listening to like an old Johnny Cash song, and he like kind of takes you through and paints a picture for you of a story. And it tells a story, and I love that. I love that part of the art. It's not just like verse, chorus, verse. Let's sing some words that don't make any sense just because they rhyme. This is like, telling a story. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, Dane, what do you think about this song?
Yeah, I agree. It kind of feels like almost gives me like an Irish folk song type of vibe, and it kind of gives me like a Bob Dylan song kind of vibe also. But but yeah, no, like you're saying, and I kind of had some like imagery while I was listening to the song, but like when you just described it, how it's about like a lady, and the dude's tending her garden, and I think it's definitely kind of a cool song.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to kick off the kind of like the playlist of podcasts. Like, I mean, I'm shocked that he wrote it when he was 16 too. But I also love that, like, so a lot of these, like, he's our age. He just sort of, I guess, spoiler alert, not really spoiler. Eric Peterson was in the Orphans, and then he was in a band called Mischief Brew. He committed suicide in 2016, and it was a bummer. Like, that doesn't sound right. It was really sad. He's been described as like sort of the Bob Dylan, like Dane said, of folk punk. People called him the Bruce Springsteen of Pennsylvania, because he has that, like, he writes a lot of his songs. It's just like they really tell a story, and they're about generally like an area, that being Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, as he calls it. But yeah, also the structure of the song. I think I want to discuss that too. It's like, it doesn't. I like songs that don't have, like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Like I like No Effects. Linoleum is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
Right.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate and I purposely put another Orphan song on there that I really love, that it's not necessarily in the outline, but like the first song on the playlist is a song called the government stole my germ CD, and it's so different. It is a straight punk rock song.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like I really appreciate Eric Peterson's range is really good, and it's a blow to like an entire, not just a scene, but like an entire genre of music that he's not making music anymore. And he was sober, and no one's really sure. He didn't leave a note. He was married, no kids, but he had pugs. He had a lot of pugs. He sings about his pugs. And yeah, no one's really sure what happened there. So it's really sad. But he left us some great music from '97 on. I don't know. You guys got any last words on Old Kentucky Anarchist?
Well, last words, I'll just say, just as it relates to the song, the Old Kentucky Anarchist song.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking a bit about like the rhythm of the guitar,
Yeah.
but you know, when the song picks up, he plays the guitar harder. You know, that was
He
the
does.
only other thing I really noticed about that. Like he plays it quiet when he's sort of like telling the story, and then when he comes in with like a powerful part of the song, it gets louder. You know, so that was just something I picked up. But enough about the technical, you know,
Yeah.
musical aspect of it.
Yeah, Josh, so everyone knows, Josh is an amazing bass player. He's also just an amazing musician all around. Um, I am a subpar guitar player and even worse banjo player. I think, yeah, Dane played guitar when we were kids, and he's
I tried to play guitar, but you know, I didn't practice.
yeah, that's
I remember one time. I thought that it might be cool to like drop some acid and go to a guitar lesson, and then I'm pretty sure I just stared the dude for 45 minutes, and
my God.
yeah, I was just happy to make it home and without too much of an incident. But yeah, no, you
Yeah,
got to practice. If you're gonna be a musician, you gotta practice. If you're gonna be good at anything, you gotta
you gotta
practice.
practice. Yeah, I got good at taking acid. Did a
Yeah,
lot of practice.
I practiced that for a while too when I was learning how to play bass.
Yeah. um, yeah, they didn't have YouTube when we were kids. You had to go to lessons. Fucking weird.
Dude, I remember like the internet was brand new, and
Mhm.
the way that I well, there were two ways that I really learned how to play songs for the most part. I mean, one was I would go on the internet and I would print out tabs, you
Yeah,
know,
I did the
from like
same
a
thing.
message board, and then the other way was I would buy those magazines. Like there were magazines. I can't remember, like Guitar Player or Bass Player magazine, and they would always have like two songs in the back of the book or in the back of the magazine that you could like learn. So that was one way, and then you know, of course, just by hanging out with your buddies and learning the song,
Yeah,
listening to it. But
print
anyways,
magazines. That's a good one.
yeah, man.
All right. Okay. I love it. So we'll move on a little bit. All right. So the next song on here is it's by Wingnut Dishwasher Union. I sort of skipped uh, like it was, like I said. There's a lot of songs on here that are different incarnations of the same people and bands. So the Wingnut Dishwasher Union was a very short-lived project that that Pat Pat the Bunny did after he did a Johnny Hobo and the Freight Trains, which I think is his most sort of like well-known project, because the Johnny Hobo songs are really fucking I don't even know, they're wild.
Dude, he's an energetic vocalist. I'll just say that.
It's oh my god. Um, so the next, I love this song, and I love the fucking title of it. It's called "Fuck Shit Up," and there's one line in it that I really love that I kind of like put down just to kind of keep with the anarchism thing. In the beginning, he says, "Some call it anarchism. I call it having a fucking heart that beats," which kind of goes to that whole like filling potholes shit. But I, I personally, I think this is like the perfect like punk song, even though he's on a guitar. I think he has a theremin on the recorded version. He has a theremin behind him, which is kind of wild. But it's the perfect punk song. Like it gets to the point. It's less than 3 minutes long, and the title says it all. Right? I think.
I mean, he sounds kind of angry, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that fits perfect.
Yeah.
Punks are pissed, dude. For the most part.
I think punks are pissed, but I really want to. I've said this before. If you're gonna be a radical or a punk rocker, or any counterculture, you got to have a sense of humor too.
True.
Like you got to be a little self-deprecating. You got to like No Effects is. We did a whole fucking episode on them, and I go back to them all the time because, man, they don't take themselves seriously at all.
Nope. They are very, very humorous too.
Yeah. I would say that I think our No Effects episode might be our best one. Just gonna throw it out there.
Well, I mean, a lot of that has to do with, how much. I mean, they're my favorite. They're my favorite punk band.
Yeah.
So I had a lot to say there, and I really enjoyed the material that we studied. Going into the book.
A lot
and
of
stuff.
fun.
Yeah, man.
Dane and I saw No Effects when we were, I think,
Oh man,
14
we were
and 15.
14, 15 years old.
Fuck yeah.
I remember I got blood on my shirt and I thought it was so cool.
He took it off too. Dane also used to wear these. I mean, this is like I'm totally going off on a tangent here, but I don't care. Dane used to wear these things that we called shants. Do you remember those?
Spants.
What were? Scants?
Spants.
Spants. Because we had Dane especially had these like 12-hole, 16-hole grip fast boots, and you got to show them off, right? He cut off the bottom 6 inches of his pants. Oh, that was fun.
Oh man, the good old days.
The good old days. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we'll try not to talk about the good old days in fucking Sonoma County too much.
Chain wallets.
Chain wallets. Yes, indeed.
I had one of those.
It's all fun and games till you get stuck in the lawn furniture.
Exactly. Oh man.
Or
anyway.
you're trying to kick flip a gap and then you land on the fucking chain. That's what happened to me.
Honestly, that's the reason I keep my wallet in my left back pocket. And the reason I do that is because when I was a kid, the chain wallet I had, the buttons faced out on the left side. So, like, that's what I do always now. I noticed that other people do it on the right side, and I think that's just lame.
I would be so confused if my wallet was in my left.
Right?
It would just throw me off.
It throws me off to have it in my right pocket.
Well, hey, man, change you must or die you will. That's what I've been told.
I like that. Okay, back to the punk rock. Okay, so there's a line in here, and I want to ask you guys about this. Okay, what he says: a punk rock song won't ever change the world, but I can tell you about a couple that changed me. Like I can name a lot. I will just start it off like it's on this playlist because I can't make a playlist without including a Rancid song. But Sidekick changed my life. It's not even one of their. I think of it as one of their best songs, but it wasn't even a single. Like, I don't know. What about you guys? Dane, what do you have a couple of punk songs that changed your life?
I have some really vivid memories of I heard hearing the Ramones. I Want to Be Sedated. Hearing that on the radio in like my mom's minivan or something, and then getting the Ramones. Saving the money somehow, going to get the CD, getting the Ramones CD, and it was. I'm discovering the Ramones. It's sometime in the 90s, I guess. But staying up all night, smoking cigarettes, listening to these old songs that just, that just resonated so much with me. Sneaking out of the house and smoking cigarettes and listening to these songs, man, was just part of the,
how we grew up, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm probably still haven't grown up really, but Josh, you got a couple?
Yeah, well, I've got one that sticks out in particular. So it was probably 1997.
Yeah.
I think I'm a
Solid
couple
date.
years. I think I'm a couple years younger than you guys. I
Yeah.
was like 12,
Okay.
and I'd been skateboarding for about a year, and I had a think board with Spitfire wheels, and
Yeah.
I was skateboarding at the DMV in Warrenton, Virginia, and I got this cassette tape.
Warrenton?
Yeah, I lived in Warrenton.
You did? Okay.
For a couple of years there. Long story,
That's
but yeah,
the Boondocks.
my mom lives out that way, and
Okay.
so yeah, I'm smoking cigarettes. I had gotten a pack of Marlboro Reds from a boy on the bus who stole a pack from his dad's carton, and he gave them to me. I didn't even have to pay for them. He just gave them to me. And I'm there with my buddy, and I have a Walkman and a cassette tape of "So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes" by NoFX, and "Kids of the K-Hole" is the song that really solidifies my entryway into the punk scene. I mean, from there I kind of went backwards and learned about all of the punk rock in the DC area that happened, when I was just a baby and before I was born. But
Yeah.
that for me was the thing that caught my attention was how fast Mike plays the bass in the intro, and the harmonizing of the vocals was what got it for me. You know what I mean? Like the way that that Eric and El Jefe harmonized with Mike, it was just, it fucking stole me, and I've been really into it ever since. But it all comes from that anarchist attitude, like I'm smoking cigarettes, fuck you.
Yeah. That's a good song.
Yeah, dude, I love it. So
that's a deep cut too. I love that. I'll just say that I'll add that if you ever want to teach your kids how to harmonize in the car and it's a long drive, NoFX is a great band to do that with.
For sure. Yeah.
I got Judah singing the Bruise with me, so
hell yeah, dude.
Also, yeah, we've talked about Mike's bass playing. It's some of the most. It's ridiculous. I almost, I don't want to say it's the best, but it's the most unique.
Well, and the way that he can sing and hold a note like while he's playing that, dude, it's impressive.
He will tell you he is like the worst musician on the planet and the worst singer, and that is like, those are two untrue statements.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Just to, and also touch on the Ramones, like I was listening to We're Outta Here, the live album, which is like one of, in their later days, they did like a dozen tours when they to make some money, and they always said, this is the last tour. But Dane probably remembers this. We had the VHS and the CD box set of We're Outta Here.
Yes, that's right.
It was good, but I was listening to it, and I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot listen to any Ramones song that's a studio recording because they're super fucking slow.
Yeah, but the slow ones kind of grew on me though. I like the really fast and the the live. They got like the Blitzkrieg Bop. There's like just this like infectious energy around that one in particular. And there's a few in that show that are really get you fired up. But I don't know, man. I think that the slow songs, they have for me anyway. They have like a.
So I mean, so the podcast is named after my favorite Ramones song. My Brain is Hanging Upside Down.
Oh yeah, and that is a slow one. Yeah.
Subtitled Bonzo Goes to Bitburg. It is like and I actually, that one I can listen to the studio version because it's got that I think it's a piano or a xylophone or something that do.
Yeah, there's a high part in there. Yeah. Or like synthesizer maybe.
Yeah, something. It's also got a key change, and I love a key change in a song. But yeah, that in particular, that album, they had a bunch of guest stars. 53rd and Third, Lars Fredriksson from Rancid comes out and plays guitar and sings on it, and it's really good. And that's a slow song.
Yeah, man, I don't know what happened to that. I wish I had that tape still. I don't know.
No, dude, that I have that VHS. I think we both had a copy.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was at least $100 at the time.
Yes, it was. Fucking VHS. I have it probably somewhere. But if you want to listen to it, it's on iTunes.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I haven't thought of that in a long time, but yeah, just seeing them, seeing Joey, sing those songs, man, it's wild.
Man, I was going to ask this at the beginning of the podcast. We're going to take like a little interlude before the next song, because we got Dane on here and he's new. I wanted to ask you guys, like, who's your favorite Ramone?
Joey for sure.
Joey?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, you got a favorite Ramone?
I don't have one.
Oh, boo. Okay.
I don't want to make something up. I've never thought about it, you know?
All right. Well, I'm glad you didn't say Johnny because Johnny was an asshole.
Yeah.
My favorite Ramone is Dee Dee. I fucking love Dee Dee, even though he couldn't play bass.
Yeah.
I mean, he was better than Sid Vicious, but that's the reason that when I do play guitar now, I take the strap and let it go as far down as it possibly can because Dee Dee used to play like that.
Who else used to play like that is the bassist from Nirvana, Chris Novoselic.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Dude, he used to wear that fucking bass down by his knees, and he was tall as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to do the bass throw too.
Yeah, and it would hit him in the fucking head.
That was on MTV.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I wanted to see if you guys had a favorite Ramone. I by far love Dee Dee. I met him when I worked at Warner Brothers Records. It was months before he died of a heroin overdose. But yeah, it was at the Wiltern Theater, and it was a show who was it? I don't know. We basically Warner Brothers, Reprise, and Sire were one record company, and Sire Records is what released everything by the Ramones. So, like I think maybe it was Rancid because we worked on what's the album that has Red Hot Moon on it? Whatever, that album. We worked on that album. I think Dee Dee was there, and he was fucking crashed. But I got to shake his hand, and I got to say, "You are my favorite, Ramone, Dee Dee." I even liked it when you became a rapper in the '80s.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. All right, so we'll move on to the next song. It's another Eric Peterson one, and it's another just sort of like really well written. Lyrics are really good. It's called "Oh Pennsyltucky," and it came out in 2004. It was his follow-up project that most people probably know more than the Orphans, called Mischief Brew. And this is like one of those songs that, like, I think pretty much every punk who grew up in Philly and north of Pennsylvania actually knew in the 2000 teens or whatever. And there's a line I like in it I put in here because it reminds me of the Bay Area. It's like it opens with this: "We sat on the Bull Brox plumb line and we watched the fog roll and swallow the bridge on the bay." And if you've ever been to fucking San Francisco, you can fucking picture that shit. And I think another version of the song, he actually says the Great Golden Gate. But yeah, this is I think what people sort of link to him and Bruce Springsteen is it's a song about a place, and it's a song, and I'm really happy Dane is here because I feel like this all the time. It's a song about where he grew up, which was like rural Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, or the Hostel City, which I didn't know was a thing until I heard this. Then I asked my sister, who lived there for a while. But yeah, he basically is saying like, what does he say? I thought I had it here, but he it's like he says, "Oh, Philadelphia, Hostel City. Like I love to visit you, but I can't live there." Basically, I'm paraphrasing. I grew up in Northern California. and I moved to LA when I was 18, and I don't have any family in Northern California anymore. Like Bay Area, I don't know. Like my friends are there, Dane is there, but like
You got me.
I got you, man. But like you don't even live in Sonoma County anymore, right?
No,
Yeah.
not anymore.
So like I will just say that there are Sonoma County, and in particular, like West County, where we kind of hung out a lot. Sebastopol, Bodega. Uh, there's like it's like 80% shitty and 20% kind of fun. Like I don't know. I got out of there as fast as I could. And even now, when I think about home, I don't think about Northern California. I think about L.A., Southern California. Um, but like I know Dane left, not necessarily of his own accord. How old were you, dude?
Oh, shit.
When you went to Reno? 15,
Oh
16?
man, I was like 15,
Yeah.
16.
And then I just remind me, like, did you ever actually live there permanently after that?
No, I just bounced back and
Yeah.
forth.
It's weird. It's a weird feeling. Like I don't have like my dad lives in North Carolina now, but Josh grew up here in Northern Virginia, and it's funny. Josh's stories are like so similar to ours on the other side of the coast.
Right.
And your family's still here, right, Josh?
Yeah, my family is, but basically every friend, that I had as a kid has pretty much moved away.
Yeah.
There's not many of, my friends. I mean, they're all dispersed across, all over the country now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of people that I grew up with that live a little bit out west, not as close to DC,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Actually, it's the opposite for me. Like the guys that I hung out with in high school are all still in like rural Sonoma County. Big Robin, the other Robin actually took
Well, it's
off just
beautiful.
like me.
Why leave?
It's beautiful. Yes, it's very beautiful. It smells like cow shit in a lot of places.
This is Sonoma aroma.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's a lot of pot farms that are next to the wineries. But yeah, I don't know. There was just nothing to do except for like skateboard and listen to music and just fucking hack phones, shit like that. Which reminds me, I got this just to show you, Dane. What does this look like?
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
it's the newest issue too.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of re-upping on my subscription.
Fuck yeah. For
I
anybody who doesn't know,
actually,
yeah, what's up?
yeah, no, so they're still doing. You can still get hard copies, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
Aaron and I found one at Barnes. We also kind of flaked out on this, but we were given a mission to go find a Fortress payphone in Rochester, New York, and we didn't end up doing it. But if we had done it, we might have gotten into the magazine.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Every now and again, I'll see a payphone out there in the wild, and I just I have flashbacks.
Right. So anyway, I was holding up a piece. This is an audio medium. I was holding up a magazine called 2600, the Hacker Quarterly.
Nice.
Yeah, it is something that Dane and I got into and have read probably since 1994. And it's great. But yeah, back to this sort of idea of like growing up in like an area and just like I don't know, like sometimes like Josh is an exception, right? Because you stayed here and you're like kicking ass, like good job. But like a lot of the guys I know that are like, we used to call people townies that were like that got stuck in Sebastopol or Santa Rosa, and now the guys that we used to call townies are townies. Like smoke too much weed, still go to the same shitty bars, you know. But yeah, the song itself, I love the song. I think everyone should go listen to it. And it's let's see, I had something else to say about it.
I mean, I definitely hear the similarities to Bruce Springsteen in this song,
Yes, that's what I was
and
gonna say.
it's almost got that melancholy sound to it, dude. It kind of is sad. You know, gives us it evokes a sorrowful emotion when I hear it, but it's almost as if like he misses the place or something like that. I don't know.
He's torn on it. Like he really is. Like if you listen to the lyrics, it's kind of like he talks a lot about, and this I think the Bruce Springsteen thing comes up because he talks a lot about like coal mines and steel mills and stuff, which is like what Philly used to be known for.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, he's like it's sad. It's also a slow song, and I actually really like it as a slow song because it's got a good mood to it. But yeah, he's not. It's this. I have this same feeling about Northern California and sometimes even Southern California. Like the last time I was in LA, I I realized that it didn't feel like home anymore, and that Nova was home, which is sad and kind of it's growth, but it's also kind of sad to think about.
It's like a bittersweet feeling or something.
Yeah, like I mean, even Sonoma County is not like it used to be. Like fucking,
it's way different.
Yeah, Sebastopol used to. Do you remember this, dude? Sebastopol used to have a day in the summer where a bunch of women would show up in the town square topless, and I don't remember what the purpose was, but it was completely legal because in Sebastopol, California, there are no exposure laws. You can, and there's also no open container laws in Sebastopol.
Why didn't I ever attend this event?
I know.
Well, there are probably a lot of like
yeah,
not so great things going on as well.
Yeah, a lot of sagging skin. Yeah,
a lot of hairy armpits.
Yes, I never actually went. We always talked about going, and then we kind of like thought it through logically. We're like, nah, that's okay. Like the theory is there. Like, yes, boobs are great, and I love that you guys are all doing this, but maybe I don't need to see it. But I don't think they do that anymore, which makes me sad.
Yeah,
boomers, man.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not the America that we grew up being taught it was.
I'm gonna use that now. Okay, all right. So the next song. This is all right. I love this song. I love the name of it, Skate Park. It's by a band called AJJ. They used to be known as Andrew Jackson Jihad. What's his name? Sean Bonnet changed the name, and I love what he said here. This is a quote. One, we are not Muslims, and as such, it is disrespectful and irresponsible to use the word jihad in our band's name. And two, we no longer wish to be a living reminder of the President Andrew Jackson. He's an interesting historical figure as he was. He was an odious person, and our fascination with him has grown stale.
I love this guy's voice, dude. This is another singer, man. He's got such a unique voice. He reminds me a lot of the Mischief Brew guy, you know.
Yeah.
A little less angry. It's more like sad or scared, kind of, is what I kind of hear in his voice. But I don't know, man. That's just what I get out of it.
A lot of people hate his voice. So like, I play AJJ in the car a lot, and pretty much every woman I've dated in the last 2 years, like, will be like, I hate that man's voice.
Well, I don't think he's trying to sound.
No.
That's what makes it great, is that he's just singing from the heart, dude. He's not trying to sound a fucking certain way or anything like that.
No, it's just him.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and he sings a lot about mental health. His other songs he talks about being like, he has very acute clinical depression, which I can identify with. And I mean, even the song Skate Park, like this is another song that I think is just like a perfect like angry punk song. But Sean Bonnet was a pro skateboarder for a long time, and he's just talking. what is it? There's nothing I would rather do on this terrible fucking day than break my bones and feel the pain of self-improvement. That's the chorus, which is fucking awesome. That's how I feel when I skateboard. Even though I
See,
I've
that's
been
why
hit
I'm
up.
a shitty skateboarder, dude, because I'm too fucking afraid to hurt myself, so I don't go for the ballsy tricks, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna be able to land this. I'm not going for this 5-stair fucking kickflip here, because I'm gonna fall and bust my ass. But this guy, he's got
This
balls.
guy does it.
I don't skateboard at all, but I can still relate. Like
Yeah.
sometimes your self improvement, even if you're not skateboarding, is painful.
Absolutely. And I think that's what he's kind of getting at too. Like that's the metaphor there. Is like fucking yeah, self-improvement is painful. And I can attest that I still skateboard like I did when I was a teenager, which is I found out recently very dangerous
Oh
because
yeah, you did.
yeah,
Just yeah.
I completely fucked up my leg. I pulled my quad, my groin. I strained some muscles, some tendons in my knee. And that was about 8 weeks ago, and I'm just now not walking with a brace.
I still
Well,
think that's pretty good. If I sit the same way for too long, I can barely walk. So I think you're doing all right.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
dude, I hate to tell you this, man, but when you sent me that picture of that quarter pipe, I just had a feeling that it wasn't gonna end well.
Something bad was gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hurt myself really bad on a quarter pipe I built. It's only 2 feet, but 2 feet actually, when you look at it, is kind of high. And there's no one below me, so I was skateboarding in my fucking living room.
Hell yeah.
It's I I got a new deck, and I just put it together, and I am still a little scared to skateboard.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit to get over an injury, man. Anytime you hurt yourself doing something, it's like you got
Well,
that fear in the back of your mind now.
this is when I was 15 or 16. I hyperextended my left knee skateboarding, and I was supposed to stay off of it for like 3 months, and I was back at the skate park in 6 weeks.
Damn. Nice.
Yeah, it's probably why my left knee is still fucked up.
Yeah, probably.
It's also probably part of the reason why I used to enjoy the occasional Vicodin every other hour or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just there's another thing he says in this song called or he says the skate park is 15-minute songs away. So like 15 1-minute songs away, which I think like that's the stuff I like to listen to.
Well, that's what punk rock is, man. Short and
Right?
sweet.
It gets to the point. It gets
Dude,
right
I
to the
mean,
fucking point.
if you look at this playlist, the average time, if you take all of the songs, is around 2 minutes, you know?
Yep. I got into a so Josh, you might be surprised to learn this, but Ansley and I are hanging out again.
Hmm.
And it's a good thing. Let's just put it that way.
Good for you, man.
Thanks, man. She wants to hang out with you and Amy, but we'll get to that later, some other time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off the
Offline.
air. Yeah.
He really likes two bands that listening to them is like it, it's so hard to just sit there, get to the fucking point. One is Gaslight Anthem, and the other one is this Drive By Truckers, and the guy in it, whose name Jason Isbell, and he's a good songwriter. Gaslight Anthem, I just flat out kind of hate because they are a blatant ripoff of the Boss. Like they're from New Jersey. I know a lot of people from New Jersey want to play, they want to be Bruce Springsteen, but you can't just rip off his songs directly.
Right.
But there's I was in the car with her and we're listening to this song. It's like 6 minutes in. I'm like, I still don't know what this shit's about.
Oh, dude, that
Like,
sounds torturous.
it is a good like in my opinion, like okay, even like if we talk metal, right? Like I really like Motorhead, and fucking Lemmy gets to the point. Like he and Metallica, he like they get to the fucking point. Same with what's the you really like Lamb of God, right?
Lamb of God, Darkest Hour.
Yeah,
Those are my two go-tos. Uh,
yeah,
and they get to the fucking point.
they do.
They don't pussyfoot around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah. Like a punk song, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like fast or I mean like short. I think that a song that is over 3 minutes is just excessive.
Well,
But
one of the things that good music to me
yeah,
is a good song will establish itself very well with the intro, if there is an intro, right?
yes,
If there is an intro to a song, then I listen to a lot of metal music also, and that intro, within the first 30 seconds is going to build it up, and you're going to know whether or not you like the song, right?
absolutely. You get. Uh, what's the point? I don't know. You get the gist. You get oh yeah, the thesis of the song is established in the first 30 seconds.
Yes, I
Um,
like that. Yeah.
I do too. And yeah, skate park is just like a straight up like you know what it's about. You know he's got a thesis. It's right there. It's very fucking yeah. The Ramones uh albums like had something what like 20 to 30 songs on them and they were not over an hour long for an entire album.
Yeah.
And that is god the Ramones really just fucking like hit it on the nail. I was this close to putting My Brain Is Hanging Upside Down on this playlist because it's a political song too. And it's a Joey Ramone was a left wing Jew, and actually his parents were Holocaust survivors, and he was really offended when Ronald Reagan went to Bitburg and visited a concentration camp and didn't say anything about the show of the Holocaust. Like he had to
See,
with
and
the Queen.
I've heard that song a million times, and I would have never been able to tell you that
Yeah,
is what the song's about.
yeah. He's okay. So like, the Bonzoga's Bitburg part is when Reagan was an actor, he was in a movie called Bonzo Goes to Washington or something. Uh,
Okay.
and Bonzo wasn't Reagan. Bonzo was the chimpanzee who co-starred with Reagan.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I like the story goes. There's even a whole Wikipedia page on just that song. Joey was watching TV and he just got super pissed about the whole thing and threw something at the TV and then decided to write a song about it. And
Nice.
Johnny hated it because Johnny was a fucking Republican.
Oh yeah,
The
forgot
K-
about that.
the KKK took my baby away was about Johnny stealing Joey's girlfriend.
Oh, damn.
Wild.
Yeah, they didn't talk at all. Like even Johnny I think died first, and then Joey right after him, and they didn't. They would be on tour. They toured constantly because it was the only way they could make money, and they didn't say a word to each other. They used to go on Howard Stern once a year, and Howard would try to get them to talk, and they would refuse to talk. They would talk through Howard.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, like
I gotta listen to those tapes because I
yeah,
know they used to go on the Stern Show all the time.
yeah. So Howard Stern is a huge Ramones fan, and uh,
Yeah.
he's actually I really like his interviews now, but he he made it like his shows were funny, but he actually was really serious about like trying to mend the fences with Johnny and Joey, and
Dude,
never happened.
he's just, not to get too off topic, but he's so good at that. I mean,
Yeah,
at interviewing, and like,
yeah,
just he's the king, man.
absolutely. I also every time I think about him, I think about watching. He had a TV show. He used to broadcast his radio show on TV, and Dane and I used to watch that at my mom's house in my bedroom
That's right.
late at night. Yep.
That's some talk soup.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, that was when it was on the E channel, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. What's his name? Rush Limbaugh tried to do the same thing, but
Didn't work out
didn't
so
last.
good.
Didn't work out so well. Okay. So that's AJJ. There's one last thing I want to say. He he's a great guitarist. All of his, like, even when he's playing electric on Skate Park, he is finger strumming and picking, and he has a really unique pattern and method to it. And he basically copied some folk singer, and I've seen him talk about it. But like, if you listen, there's a couple other songs on the playlist where he's playing acoustic guitar, and you can really hear the strumming pattern, and he's an amazing musician. But also, like, he's, of all the people that are on this playlist, AJJ and Sean Bonnet in particular are still like popular and selling records and shit. And I don't know, somehow they've sort of like meeked out this like really rabid following in a scene that sees bands come and go like a lot. And I think that's great because they're great. They're a good band. I want to see them live. And actually, I thought I'd point this out. I guess we'll talk about it on the next one. But the other person who is still like sort of like the king of folk punk and anarcho punk is Pat Bunny from Johnny Hobo, aka Pat the Bunny. He retired from music and punk rock and anarchy in 2016, I think. He basically got a job as a information security specialist in Arizona and couldn't tour anymore. And he did a Facebook post and said, I'm done. And that seems to be like a lot of people just like burn out. Like, he really burnt out. He was a horrible addict and an alcoholic. And even when he got sober, he apparently he had a really hard time touring, which I could understand, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next song, and this is the last song we're going to talk about, and this is a new guy who I fucking love. He can't be that. He's probably in his mid-20s now. His name's Littlefoot, and he plays the banjo like a madman. And he's actually, I found this the other day. I found him covering an AJJ song on his banjo, and it's really good. It's called Heart Elation, which actually I think the AJJ version's on the playlist.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, the song, I put 2 songs of his on here. There's a lot of songs of his that I like. Drugs, Girls, Money, and Liquor, which is not on the playlist, but it's a good song because we can all relate to drugs, girls, money, and liquor. But the song I put on here is, I just wanted to kind of make a good point about the whole sense of humor sort of thing, not taking yourself seriously. It's called Not Another Folk Punk Song. And it's he is he's a train hopping fucking crust punk. I think he's not hopping trains anymore. I've been monitoring his career on Instagram. He's playing a lot of festivals and stuff, but it's like the third name from the bottom up. So he's working his way into the scene. Like, he's he's becoming successful, and
more successful than I've ever been.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never played a fucking festival.
I know, right? Even if you're like the opening act.
Yeah, like, who cares? That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
You're getting like $300 in a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I actually was going to say, as we've seen throughout this playlist, there's a theme growing here. He got sober in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got some great songs about drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes and hopping trains and stuff. But yeah, it's this, a lot of stuff is like punk, bluegrass kind of fusion now. Like, that's kind of where the scene has gone. And that's kind of been brewing for like the last 13 years, like since like 2010. And he brings up some shit like I call it the true crust punk lifestyle, and I even listed it. So hopping trains, And he brings up a term that I hadn't heard since I was a teenager: spanging. Yeah, spare change, man. Spange.
Oh,
Yeah.
spanging.
Yeah, Dane remembers that. I know he does.
Oh man, spanging. Yeah, but that's tough. That's tough. I always have trouble asking people for money.
I know, right? So he also brings up busking, which is a way better way of getting money off people on the street. Is playing your fucking banjo, doing drugs, and then getting sober. That's in his like 5 years on the scene. He's followed a pattern that we've seen.
Well,
Yeah, I really
mean,
like. I
it fits.
really like this one.
You like this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like talking about drinking by myself by the train tracks.
Yeah.
Give me all your money, having fun. That's what life's about. And yeah, I mean it takes you back to when I was
17,
yeah,
spanging, 15.
exactly.
Yeah. Shoulder tapping the fucking bum named Doug to get us beer.
That's right.
He was a Green Beret.
Yeah.
Let's see. The song opens with he's pretty much Littlefoot like solo now, but he had a band. It wasn't really a band. It was just him and his friend on guitar, him on bass, or him on banjo. And they're called Odd One Out. And this song opens with his like music partner saying like what are you gonna play next? Oh God, not another folk punk song. And then he goes into it, and like super self-deprecating, and I saw a Reddit post, and I had to kind of mention it here, and I think the title of it was quote, "Why does folk punk hate punk?" And like, it's a stupid question, really, honestly. Like, punk rock hates punk rock. Like, No Effects, great example. Pat the Bunny, like, will talk like in his or Johnny Hobo songs, like, like what was it? Picking sides, like how you don't choose punk rock, but punk rock chooses you. But then he also talks about waking up in the morning and hating punk rock. Like, you can't take this shit too seriously because it's a lifestyle. It's kind of crusty and hardcore. So you gotta poke fun at yourself. You gotta poke fun at everyone else too. So like I really like this one. If you got Dane, if you like this one, you definitely got to look this guy up. I think you'll like Drugs, Girls, Money, and Liquor. Is a fabulous song. He even brings up Two Girls, One Cup at the end.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah. It's like he's kind of rapping. I'd say it's a bluegrass punk hip hop song.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the new format. Those are the 5 songs we're talking about. I kind of wanted to kind of bring up a little bit that uh, uh, this guy Littlefoot is sort of like, I think he's like what folk punk should be moving forward. He's lived it. He's also got a really good voice. I really like his voice. It's like high pitched and kind of whiny, but yelling at the same time, and gravelly. And like it's Taylor brought this up on one of our episodes past that when I said I wanted to do an episode on anarcho punk or folk punk, he basically was like, yeah, all those bands either like hate each other and break up or someone dies. And I don't want that to happen to the scene because it is a subgenre that I fucking love, and I want it to keep kind of going.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll say that I never listened to any folk punk until you sent me this playlist, and
Yep.
I love it, man. It's really grown on me. I love this music, and I'd never even heard of it, man. It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
so. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, really. Thank you, man. I mean, same. I got it. It comes on randomly in the car, and it definitely switches it a little, something different than what I'm normally listening to.
Yeah. uh, someone recently, I I told this story at the beginning of our last or the Crooked Murder like a week ago. I got almost stranded in Buffalo, New York, and I got into this weird. I wouldn't say it's an argument, but like the woman that did strand Aaron and I in Buffalo um, got really offended when I told her I don't listen to the radio.
I hate the radio, dude.
Me too.
Oh my God. I was forced to listen to the radio the other day in my wife's
God.
minivan because my phone was no longer connected to the Bluetooth.
Yeah,
Dude, it was rough.
it's rough. I'll listen to NPR. That's it. Um, but yeah, she was playing a lot of. Have you guys heard what the kids listen to now? The new rap, the sort of like downbeat lo-fi stuff
Yeah.
with with the same beat that, and then they rap like na 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 na. It's the same every. It's not even the same like artist has the same songs. They all it's a na 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 na. And she got really mad at me when I did that interpretation. um, Fucking kids. But yeah, I was gonna read this whole post that Pat the Bunny put on, but it's basically his retirement thing. I think I'll just say that if you read in between the lines of this long Facebook post, he's really saying, "I'm tired of touring and dealing with these damn kids. I'm gonna go work in IT so y'all can listen to my catalog and other bands. Peace out from Arizona." So
Nice. Well, good for
yeah.
him, man.
Nah, I follow him on I think Instagram. I don't know. He's not a big social media poster, which I appreciate. But he grew up, got a job, and he kind of says like I don't really believe in this stuff anymore. But like for me at least, like uh, I don't know how else to live, really.
I bet he still has a passion
Yeah,
for it, you know.
I'm sure he does. I think
Yeah.
he was just kind of trying to say like he also he sings about a lot. He has like a horrible sort of like social anxiety, which
I can relate to that, bro.
yeah, like I think he even there's a couple of Pat the Bunny songs where he says like I hate crowds and loud noise. I play a show every night.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's hard to do that when
yeah,
you have that problem, you know.
yeah, and you don't have a crutch like heroin or booze.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. Yeah, and I don't know, like it was I just when we do these shows, it just brings me back to being a kid, but also like it reminds me of like shit that like there's this guy Will that Josh and I know and Kirby probably knows from he's in he lives in Austin now. He's a young guy. He said to me once we were driving and we were listening to Operation Ivy, and he was like, "You really haven't like you still listen to this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "It's not even that. You don't even. It's not like you're trying to be punk rock. You just are." And like I had never thought about it like that. And I don't like it's not like I'm not trying to like brag, but like when he said that to me, I was like, yeah, actually, like I haven't changed since I was 15. Like all my friends started listening to hip hop, and I still listen to Rancid and NoFX.
Yep.
Yep. So I don't know if that's I can't grow, but whatever.
I mean, I listen to a little bit of everything, but
Yeah.
there's still those albums that you put on, or now
Yeah.
everything's streaming, but you listen to a song and then you expect to hear the next song on the CD, so then
Yeah.
you gotta put on the next, you gotta find the next song, and every, there's a few times a year, I think, or what. There's definitely a pattern. I don't know what the pattern is, but every now and again, I'm like, I just get on a little kick, and for
Yeah.
a few weeks, I'll be on, listening to these, just stuff that you haven't listened to in a long time, and it just
Yeah.
brings back that
That
time in your life,
feeling. Yeah. Staying up late and I don't know. It's weird. Like I'll just say that Dane was like way punker than I ever was when we were teenagers. um, he smoked way more cigarettes, and he used to drink coffee by the fucking pot, like middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't do anything just a little bit.
It's so true. Yeah, I think we can all identify with that.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, it's a way of life for me, and we're gonna keep doing it. What do you guys think about this format?
Yeah, dude, this is the way to go moving forward, in my
All right.
opinion. I mean, dude, we took, first of all, you compiled a playlist. We took 5 songs out of that playlist and we talked about it, and the playlist covers a theme.
Yep.
And yeah, I felt
Yeah.
the thing I liked the best about this format from a personal standpoint is that you give sort of the backstory on the artist, and you do your homework. You've done the research. You know about these bands, and then from my perspective, I just talk a little bit about what I notice in the musical structure,
Yeah.
and and then we talk about how this relates to our lives.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought
I had a blast. I thought it was
awesome.
Loads of fun.
Yeah, I think Dane's gonna be a new fixture on the what are we calling ourselves? This podcast network, Crook Irish Studios or something.
Good.
We'll get you on some other stuff too. But yeah, I like this. I just got to say, like, having done that 2-part Beastie Boys episode thing, I just want that to go away.
Yeah, that was a lot, man.
It was too much.
Then we had to record the second one twice. Like,
I know. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, we had the same thing happen on Crook and Murder with Roanoke. We got to the 4th episode and we were like, no, this is like too many white people doing shitty things to the indigenous folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna do this. We're gonna come back. Upside Down Brain will be coming back. Hopefully regular-ish. But yeah, I enjoyed this, and also this is one of the shorter episodes we've ever done. So good job, guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we'll do some shout outs. Kirby, you there?
You have ruined my perfectly wonderful watching. I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, but I'm watching something. What's on?
It's over. Well, it's over. Okay.
I'm terribly sorry. Are there any mod shout outs? Because I don't know how these things work.
Let's see. We do have a mod on today. That is OniRam93. ONIRAM93. Go follow him on Twitch. And also, Jay Gazes, your co-host here, has his own Twitch channel. That is JGAZES.
Awesome. So yeah, sign off. I'll give like one shout out to my Hebrew friend Aaron. He is asleep next to me, and I don't know how he's doing that.
And all our podcasts are available on all major networks.
Yes, thank you. We have Upside Down Brain, which we just did. We've got Crook and Murder, which is our weekly one, and we have the Stone Gauntlet, which is nerds talking about nerd things.
Yeah. Good way to sum it up.
Yeah, no, it's a great one. I'm gonna sign off. My name is Maxwell Murder, and I don't know. Go out and start a band with Hot Trains if your knees can take it. Josh.
Yep. Jay Gaze is signing out, and I don't know. I can't think of anything ever to say during the sign out. So, peace out. Have a good night.
Got work tomorrow. Dane, you got anything?
Yeah, be excellent to each other. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.
I like that one. All right, I'm gonna go to sleep too because I got to spoon Aaron on that fucking chair.
Good job, guys.
Night, guys.
Night.
Good night.
Later.